and send the prayers up. Rise and face Jerusalem. Sisters, cover your heads. Brothers, uncover your heads. According to 1 Corinthians, the 11th chapter, the 4th and 5th verse. Dear Heavenly Father, in the name of your Son, Jesus the Christ, we thank you for another day of grace and another day of mercy, Father. I pray for the infirmities and the sins of the nation of Israel, Father, that you would heal us and bless us and lead us out of iniquity, Father, that you would lead us into your truth, Father, that we may enter your rest, Father, that we may enter into the kingdom of heaven, Father. I pray for any brothers or any sisters that are battling any infirmities, whether it be mentally, spiritually, emotionally, financially, Father, that you will heal us and guide us in truth, Father. In the name of your Son, Jesus the Christ, we thank you and we pray. Amen. All right. Shalom, family. Most High in Christ bless. Officer Lemuel out of Dallas, Texas. This is History in the AM. There we go. And this is History in the AM. Oh, I'm sorry. Give me just a second. Sorry about that, family. I have no idea why I keep getting kicked off. I have no idea if all right. Last week we started at Second Kings, or we finished up 2 Kings 14, and we went into 2 Kings the 15th chapter. Uzziah, which was one of the kings of Judah, who, when you read, oh man, are you serious? If it keeps doing that to you, and you have a Periscope, you just pull me up. You just pull me up on Periscope. Now it's early over here. We're in Dallas, Texas. It's early over here. It's 4:30. I apologize, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure why I keep getting kicked off. So, so yeah, when you read 2 Kings 14 and 2 Kings, the beginning of 2 Kings 15, it's talking about, oh, same thing last night. Dang. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Like I say, the only thing I can think is just Periscope. If y'all have Periscope, the Periscope is up and it's fine. This keeps telling me to check my internet connection, but my internet connection is fine. So, when you read when it says Azariah, yeah, definitely. Thank you for the lead, for the Thank you for the link, Brother Prefer. When you read Azariah, that's gonna keep throwing my thought off. Dang. When you read about Azariah referring to Uzziah, you'll see his name more commonly when you read, when you read your other books, other history books, the Bible Atlas. I have another book up there. Well, yeah, that's the Bible Atlas, and then we have when you read your Zondervan and Holman Atlas, you'll see him as Uzziah. All right. But when he came into power, he took Elath, the land of Elath, back from Edom. We looked at some maps of Hamath, which belonged to the Syrians, who today are still the Syrians. We went to, and I'm just looking back over my notes. Yes, Jeroboam. Jeroboam the second saved the northern kingdom from oppression under the Syrians, not the Assyrians, the Syrians. All right. Then you jump down to 2 Kings 15, and this is a real loose recap. But I did want to recap. I want to make a habit of recapping every week so we don't lose the thought. So what I'm gonna do is start in 2 Kings 15 and 1. I know we read the first few verses, but we stayed mainly in 2 Chronicles 26 to understand why Uzziah got stricken with leprosy. And it was because he burned incense at the altar to the Most High, which was against the law. He broke the law. He broke the commandments. All right. So let's go ahead and start at 2 Kings chapter 15 verse 1. Brother Gideon and I. It looks like you're gonna take over scribing for me, so all praises for that. I appreciate it. 2 Kings chapter 15 verse 1, which the history of Uzziah, as we read on, you'll see you'll read in 2 Chronicles 26. All right. 2 Kings chapter 15 verse 1. In the 27th year of Jeroboam, king of Israel, this is Jeroboam the second, began Azariah or Uzziah, son of Amaziah, king of Judah, to reign. 16 years old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 52 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Jechaliah of Jerusalem. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his father Amaziah had done. So Uzziah was a king of the southern kingdom. Jeroboam, king of Israel, is a king of the northern kingdom. So I'm gonna start making a habit of, because new brothers and sisters will be coming in and maybe confused as far as why it has two different kings in the same verse. So I'll make sure that I give the understanding and give the sense of one being the king of the northern kingdom, the other being the king of the southern kingdom. The book of Kings is from the history of the books of the kings of Israel from the northern kingdom's perspective. The book of Chronicles chronicles the history of the kings of Israel from a southern kingdom perspective, which is why when you read 2 Kings 15 And as we read on, it's talking about Uzziah, but you have to go to Chronicles, specifically Second Chronicles 26, in order to actually get the history of Uzziah. All right. We also did the same thing in I think chapter 25 about Amaziah. Yeah, he's chapter 25. We read about Amaziah going to war with Edom. Okay. I'm gonna read on verse 4. I'm gonna start verse 3 again, so I don't lose my thought. And he did that. I'm going to just pick right up. Verse 3. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, according to all that his father Amaziah had done, save that the high places were not removed. When it says save, that meaning except that the high places were not removed, the people sacrificed and burned incense still on the high places. So you still had some of the southern kingdom that was still going off into idolatry. Okay. Verse 5. And the Lord smote the king, talking about King Uzziah, so that he was a leper unto the day of his death, and dwelt in a several house, meaning he dwelt outside of the land. He dwelt outside of the Lord's house because of what he did in Second Chronicles 26. When he burnt incense, when he burnt the incense to the Lord on the altar, and you was not supposed to do that under the law. Okay, and you can read about the several houses in Leviticus chapter 13, verse 46, meaning you dwelt outside the camp. Okay, and Jotham the king's son was over the house, judging the people of the land. So while Uzziah dwelt in that several house, Jotham, his son, was judging the people. Okay, leading the people. All right. Verse 6. And the rest of the acts of Azariah or Uzziah, and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? Excuse me. So Azariah or Uzziah slept with his fathers, and they buried him with his fathers in the city of David, and Jotham his son reigned in his stead. So Uzziah died, and when he died, his son Jotham took over the rulership in his place. Actually, let me get this real quick. Just so y'all can see, and I know Deacon Thun as well as Officer Joel, I know they mentioned to get this book, which is a very good resource. I'll show you too. Periscope, Bible app, Holman Bible Atlas, because this book has helped tremendously with keeping the order of the kings. So I know the light bad, forgive me, but so you can keep the order of the kings. All right, let me grab my charger real quick. Yeah. Give me just a second. Let me grab my charger on my phone so the computer don't die. And I don't know where my charger is. Golly. Ah, boy. All right. I don't got my computer charger. I'm pretty sure I left it at the school. All right. Yeah, so if this shuts off again, or I'll let y'all know when it's like, when I got like 5% left, and then hop over onto Periscope. The link is up. Because I forgot my charger at the school. So to my laptop. Golly. So I have no laptop and no phone charger. That's boy. Anyway, I lost my phone charger last night too. So my phone is dead. My cell phone is dead. So that's unfortunate. It's been an interesting last couple of hours. So 2 Chronicles chapter 15. So after Uzziah, you had his son Jotham, which reigned from 742 BC to 735 BC, approximately. Say approximately because I don't want y'all to look something up on Google and it's a year, 2 years, 3 years off, and then any confusion comes up or anything like that. So just say approximate. All right, 2 Kings 15 and verse 8. In the 38th year of Azariah, king of Judah, did Zechariah the son of Jeroboam reign over Israel in Samaria 6 months. So this is not the Zechariah the prophet. Excuse me, Zechariah the prophet. You had brothers that had the same name all throughout the scriptures. You had King Amaziah, and then you had Amaziah the priest. What is that second? Hold on. Oh, no, that's Isaiah. Hold on for me real quick. Let me find this. Okay, yes, Amos chapter 7 and verse 10. It says, Then Amaziah, the priest of Bethel, sent to Jeroboam, king of Israel, Jeroboam II. So if just reading off top, you'd be like, oh, okay, that's the same Amaziah we read about in 2 Kings 14, but that's not the same. That's not the same Amaziah. That Amaziah was a priest. The Amaziah we read about in 2 Kings is a king over Israel. All right, so 2 different kings. So this Zechariah that we read in 2 Kings 15 and 8 was a king over the northern kingdom. Get this again right there. Granted, he didn't reign very long. Right there, Periscope. He didn't reign long at all. Verse 9. And he did that which was evil. Verse 9. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord, as his fathers had done. He departed not from the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. And Shalom, the son of Jabesh, conspired against him. So Shalom conspired against Zechariah to overthrow him to be king. All right. It says, verse 10. I'm going to read verse 10 again. And Shalom, the son of Jabesh, conspired against him and smote him before the people. So Shalom killed Zechariah before the people, before the congregation. It says, and slew him and reigned in his stead. So he killed him and then he set himself up as king. All right. Verse 11. And the rest of the acts of Zechariah, behold, they are written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel. So you had So our people, just to rule or just to gain power and authority, they did all kinds of evil crap to each other. So you had Shalom. Man, dang. All right, laptop done. All right, Periscope. Laptop just died. All right, 2 Kings chapter 15, and let's read on in verse. Let's read on in verse 13, verse 12. 2 Chronicles 15, verse 12. It says, "This was." It says, 2 Chronicles 15 and 12. "This was the word of the Lord which he spake unto Jehu, saying, Thy sons shall sit on the throne of Israel unto the fourth generation. And so it came to pass." So hold this. Let's go back and read something that we read a couple of weeks ago. I think maybe 2 months ago or something like that. A prophecy that was written regarding, I'm going to read this again. "This was the word of the Lord which he spake unto Jehu, saying, Thy sons shall sit on the throne of Israel unto the fourth generation, and so it came to pass." So let's read about Jehu and his sons in the prophecy. This is 2 Kings chapter 20. I'm sorry, 2 Kings chapter 10 and verse 29. 2 Kings. Actually, let's start at verse 28. 2 Kings chapter 10, verse 28. "Thus Jehu destroyed Baal out of Israel. Howbeit from the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin, Jehu departed not from after them, to wit, the golden calves that were in Bethel and that were in Dan. And the Lord said unto Jehu, Because thou hast done well in executing that which is right in mine eyes, and hast done unto the house of Ahab according to all that was in mine heart, thy children of the fourth generation shall sit on the throne of Israel." So when it says his sons, thy children, it says, "Has done unto the house of Ahab according to all that was in my heart, thy children of the fourth generation shall sit on the throne of Israel." So it's talking about the last four kings from Jehu to Jeroboam the second. You had, those were all Jehu's children. All right, those are all Jehu's sons. Okay, you went from Jehu to Jehoahaz to Jehoahash or Joash to Jeroboam the second. And then from Jeroboam the second, it went to Zechariah. Those are all the sons of Jehu. Well, grandfather's great 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 grandfather's great great grandfather. fathers. All right. Let's go back. 2 Kings chapter 15, verse 12. This was the word of the Lord which he spake unto Jehu, saying, Thy sons shall sit on the throne of Israel unto the fourth generation. And so it came to pass. Shallum, the son of Jabesh, began to reign in the 39th year of Uzziah, king of Judah. So Shallum started to reign over the southern kingdom. He was the son of Jabesh. He was not of the lineage of Jehu. Okay, he was the first king that went outside of Jehu's lineage. All right, so it was prophesied that 4 of Jehu's sons would be over the nation. All right, would be kings over the nation. And that was Shallum came up in power in 745 BC, approximately. All right. Shallum, verse 13. Shallum, the son of Jabesh, began to reign in the 39th year of Uzziah, king of Judah, and he reigned a full month in Samaria. For Menahem, the son of Gadai, went up from Tirzah and came to Samaria, and smote Shallum, the son of Jabesh, in Samaria, and slew him, and reigned in his stead. Excuse me. And slew him and reigned in his stead. So you had Menahem, the son of Gadai, that came up. He killed Shallum, and he came up into power over the northern kingdom. All right, over the northern kingdom. It says, verse 15, and the rest of the acts of Shallum and his conspiracy which he made, behold, they are written in the book of the Chronicles of the Kings of Israel. Verse 16, then Menahem, verse 16, then Menahem smote Tifsa and all that were therein, and the coast thereof from Tirzah, because they opened not to him. Therefore he smote it, and all the women therein that were with child he ripped up. So you had Menahem over the northern kingdom that went into Tirzah, and because they wouldn't open the coast up to him, he started to kill all the women that were bearing children, and he started to rip the babies out. He put out orders for all the women to be ripped up and the children be ripped out of their stomachs. All right. Verse 17. In the 39th year of Azariah, king of Judah, or Uzziah, king of Judah, began Menahem, the son of Gadai, to reign over Israel, and reigned 10 years in Samaria. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. So I want, over the series of weeks, I'm sure y'all have come to the conclusion, or beginning to come to the conclusion, that there were no righteous kings over the northern kingdom. All of the northern kingdom leadership started to go off, which in turn made the rest of the nation go outside of the laws of God and go off into idolatry. All right, we'll read in a little bit that the Most High separated the northern kingdom from himself. He said they're not a people no more. He said he wouldn't be that God. Okay. Verse 18, verse 18, yes. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. He did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. He departed not all his days from the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. And Pul, the king of Assyria, came against Samaria, the northern kingdom, the lands of the northern kingdom. The Assyrians today are the Kurds, or the land of Kurdistan. Those are the Kurds today. Those are the Assyrians today. when you read Genesis, when you read the Bible, there are 18 nations written in the Bible. Two of them are in Genesis 25, Jacob and Esau. Okay, those are two separate nations. The rest of the nations are in Genesis, the 10th chapter. I'm gonna read the lineage of Shem. Okay, this is the lineage of Shem, or how you'll hear today people when you go up against Jewish people, fake Jews over there in Israel, they're they call you anti-Semitic, anti-Semitic. Well, it was more than just them that was of the line of when they say Semitic, they really mean Shemitic or Shem, the line of Shem. But as we read, the Assyrians are Semitic or of the line of Shem. This is Genesis chapter 10, verse 22. The children of Shem, Shemites, is Shemitic people. These are Semitic people, Shemitic people. Elam, which is the East Indians, and today, and Ashur, which are the Assyrians today. He's the father of the Assyrians. And Arphaxad, who that's the lineage that the Israelites come out of, Arphaxad, and Lud and Aram, who's the father of the Syrians. Okay, the Syrians. The Syrians. All right, so let's go back. 2 Kings chapter 15 and verse 19. And Pul, the king of Assyria, actually, let me get this real quick. All right, so it says in Pul, another name for Pul is Tiglath-Pileser. Okay, I'm gonna read this. I'm gonna read this out of Holman. What we were reading earlier. All right, it says as Tiglath-Pileser, also called Pul, arrived on the coast of Phoenicia, Menahem of Israel, and Rezin of Aram Damascus, which is a king, brought tribute and became vassals of Assyria, meaning they joined with Assyria and they had an alliance with Assyria. An anti-Assyrian alliance quickly formed. Israel and Aram Damascus attacked Jerusalem about 735 BC in an attempt to replace King Ahaz of Judah with a man loyal to the anti-Assyrian alliance, and thus force Judah's participation. So as we read here shortly that how that went, what was the success of that or failure. All right. Second Kings chapter 15 verse 19. And Pul, Tiglath-Pileser, the king of Assyria, came against the land, and Menahem gave Pul 1,000 talents of silver, that his hand might be with him to confirm the kingdom in his hand. So he attempted to form an alliance with Tiglath-Pileser, the Assyrian. All right, so he paid him off. He was trying to pay him off to maintain his kingdom, maintain his place in rulership. Verse 20, and Menahem exacted the money of Israel, meaning he started to tax Israel. He started to place taxes on Israel. Even of all the mighty men of wealth. So he started to tax the wealthy of Israel, okay? Of each man 50 shekels of silver to give to the king of Assyria. So the king of Assyria turned back and stayed not there in the land. So Pul began to turn back, and he went back to Assyria. Excuse me. Verse 21. And the rest of the acts of Menahem and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the king of Israel? And Menahem slept with his fathers, and Pekahiah his son reigned in his stead. So after, let me bookmark this real quick. So after Menahem, you had Pekahiah that came into power. Okay. Verse 22. And Menahem slept with his fathers, and Pekahiah his son reigned in his stead. In the 50th year of Azariah, king of Judah, Pekahiah the son of Menahem began to reign over Israel in Samaria and reigned 2 years. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. He departed not from the sins of Jeroboam the son of Nebat, who made Israel to sin. Watch this. So we just read that Menahem attempted to pay off the king of Assyria, Pul, to maintain his rulership. Okay. It says, this is going back to the Bible Atlas. Against the protests of Isaiah, Ahaz appealed to Tiglath-Pileser for assistance. And we'll get to that part in a minute. Yeah, we'll get to that part in a minute. So that history is going to go into the northern kingdom being deported out of Samaria into various other lands, and heathens being put into Samaria, being brought into Samaria. Okay, hold this in 2 Kings 15. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 7 and verse 1. Isaiah 7 and 1. Isaiah chapter 7 and verse 1. It says, And it came to pass in the days of Ahaz, the son of Jotham, the son of Uzziah, king of Judah, that Rezin, the king of Syria, and Pekah, the son of Remaliah, king of Israel, went up. So this is the we'll read that in a minute. Actually, hold this. I don't want to read this yet. Let's get through the next verse in Kings, and then we'll go to Isaiah. So let's go back to 2 Kings 15 and 25. 2 Kings 15:25. But Pekah, the son of Remaliah, a captain of his, conspired against him and smote him in Samaria, in the palace of the king's house, with Argob and Ariah, and with him 50 men of the Gileadites. And he killed him and reigned in his room. And the rest of the acts of Pekahiah and all that he did, behold, they are written in the book of the chronicles of the kings of Israel. In the 52nd year of Azariah or Uzziah, king of Judah, Pekah, the son of Remaliah, began to reign over Israel in Samaria and reigned 20 years. And he did that which was evil in the sight of the Lord. He departed not from the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat. This is Jeroboam the first, who made Israel to sin. In the days of Pekah, king of Israel, came Tiglath-Pileser. This is Tiglath-Pileser the third. Tiglath-Pileser the third. Okay. Matter of fact, let me find something real quick. Let me get something real quick out of this book. If I can't find it, I'm gonna just move on. But I did want to find this so you can get the timeline of the kings over Assyria, but I don't think I can find the page. I thought I bookmarked it. I don't want to take too long. Okay. Yeah, here we go. So this is page 198 of the Bible Atlas, and hopefully you can see that. But it says Tiglath-Pileser III, or Pul. All right, so that's the same person. All right. Um, he reigned from approximately 745 BC to 727 BC. All right, approximately 745 BC to 727 BC. BC, excuse me. All right. So he reigned during the time of Menahem. When Menahem was in power, he reigned. When Pekahiah was in power, he was still in power when Pekah was in power. Those were three kings of the northern kingdom. All right. Drop my place. All right. So let me go back to this and let's read this again. 2 Kings chapter 15 and verse 29. 2 Kings 15:29. In the days of Pekah, king of Israel, or the northern kingdom, came Tiglath-Pileser III, king of Assyria, and took Ijon and Abel Beth Maacah, and that's a mouthful, and Genoa and Kadesh and Hazor and Gilead and Galilee and all the land of Naphtali, and carried them captive to Assyria. All right, so hold it. Isaiah chapter 7 and verse 1. Isaiah chapter 7 and verse 1. Isaiah chapter 7 and verse 1. All right. Isaiah chapter 7 verse 1. And it came to pass in the days of Ahaz, the son of Jotham, the son of Uzziah, king of Judah, that Rezin, the king of Syria, and Pekah, the son of Remaliah, king of Israel, went up toward Jerusalem to war against it, but could not prevail against it. So they were coming up, like we just read in this book. They attempted to come up against Jerusalem. They attempted to hire the Assyrians to come against the southern kingdom. It says, verse 2, and it was told the house of David, the southern kingdom, saying, Syria is confederate with Ephraim, or they attempted to make an alliance. Syria is also Aram Damascus. And his heart was moved, and the heart of his people, as the trees of the wood are moved with the wind. Then said the Lord unto Isaiah, Go forth now to meet Ahaz, thou and Shearjashub, thy son, at the end of the conduit of the upper pool in the highway of the fuller's field, and say unto him, Take heed and be quiet, fear not. So he said, look, shut up, everybody listen. Neither be faint-hearted, for the two tails of these smoking firebrands from the fierce anger of Rezin with Syria and of the son of Remaliah, which was Pekah. Because Syria, Ephraim, and the son of Remaliah because the Syrians, Ephraim, the northern kingdom, and the son of Remaliah, Pekah, have taken evil counsel against thee, saying, Let us go up against Judah and vex it, and let us make a breach therein for us, and set a king in the midst of it, even the son of Tabiel. Thus saith the Lord God, It shall not stand, neither shall it come to pass. So the northern kingdom was attempting to take down the southern kingdom and to set up their own king. All right. It says, verse 8, For the head of Syria is Damascus, and the head of Damascus is Rezin. And within 65 years shall Ephraim be broken, that it be not a people. So I know y'all have heard that precept the history behind it is because they came up against Judah. They conspired against Judah. They conspired against the southern kingdom to take them out of power, to take them out, to take away the rulership, and to set up another king. The Most High said, I'm doing away with y'all. He said, in 5 years shall Ephraim, or the northern kingdom, be broken, that it be not a people. So because they did that, the Most High was breaking them so that they weren't a people, so that they were not considered a part of the nation again, a part of the nation of Israel again. All right, so he wasn't dealing with the northern kingdom like that. All right, let's go back. Let's go back. 2 Kings. Second Kings chapter 15 and verse 1. Actually, I'm gonna read back in the Bible Atlas. Against the protests of Isaiah, Ahaz appealed to Tiglath-Pileser for assistance. Tiglath-Pileser, in response, campaigned against Philistia, reduced Israel to the area immediately around Samaria, which is what we just read. Actually, I'm gonna read that part again. Tiglath-Pileser III reduced Israel to the area immediately around Samaria and annexed Aram Damascus, deporting the population. Ahaz, for his part, became an Assyrian vassal. Well, we'll read that later, probably in the next couple of weeks. Watch this. So, 2 Kings 15:29. In the days of Pekah, king of Israel, came Tiglath-Pileser, king of Assyria, and took Ijon and Beth Maacah, and Genoa, and Kadesh, and Hazor, and Gilead, and Galilee, all the land of Naphtali, and carried them captive to Assyria. So the northern kingdom was carried captives into Assyria. Okay. And Hoshea, the son of Elah, made a conspiracy against Pekah, the son of Remaliah, and smote him and slew him and reigned in his stead. In the 20th year of Jotham, the son of Uzziah, and the rest of the acts of Pekah and all that he did, behold, they are written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Israel. In the 2nd year of Pekah, the son of Remaliah, king of Israel, began Jotham, the son of Uzziah, king of Judah, to reign. 25 old was he when he began to reign, and he reigned 16 years in Jerusalem. And his mother's name was Jerusha, the daughter of Zadok. And he did that which was right in the sight of the Lord, and he did according to all that his father Uzziah had done. Howbeit the high places were not removed. The people sacrificed and burned incense still in the high places. He built the higher gate of the house of the Lord. Now the rest of the acts of Jotham and all that he did, are they not written in the book of the Chronicles of the kings of Judah? In those days the Lord began to send against Judah Rezin the king of Syria, and Pekah the son of Remaliah. And Jotham slept with his fathers and was buried with his fathers in the city of David his father, and Ahaz his son reigned in his stead. So I'm gonna stop right there because there's a lot more history that we have to go through the Northern Kingdom, dealing with Pekah, dealing with the Northern King, dealing with Assyria, because we're finna get into the Assyrian captivity of the Northern Kingdom, and we're gonna stay in Kings mainly, but we're going to do a lot of jumping back and forth between Kings, between Chronicles, and Isaiah. And my daggone laptop died, so I don't have my laptop. I don't even have my cord. So I'm going to stop right there. In closing, again, Pekah, the son of Pekahiah, came into power. He conspired against Judah, or the southern kingdom, to overthrow him. He conspired with the Syrians around Damascus to overthrow the northern kingdom. Yes, Gad was a part of the northern kingdom, but the North American Indians today, yes, they're part of the northern kingdom. The southern kingdom is 3 tribes: Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. The reason there's sometimes you'll see where it says 10 tribes, like when you read 2nd Ezra 13. Hey, all praises, brother. When you read when you read 2nd Ezra 13 and 40, when it says those 10 tribes, that's because it included the tribe of Dan. But the tribe of Dan now has been scattered amongst all the tribes, mainly in the West Indies with Benjamin. Okay. Go to originalroyalty.com, where you can get merchandise, shirts. They got new stuff that's coming out almost every week now, or at least every other week. If you're not comfortable giving alms, you can purchase merchandise, and it still goes towards does the Bible say Gad was warriors? Let's go to let's go here first. 2nd Chronicles 25. 2nd Chronicles 25. I'm trying to think of it off the top of my head. 2nd Chronicles chapter 25 and verse. This is dealing with the whole northern kingdom. It's going to say Ephraim. We're talking about the northern kingdom. 2nd Chronicles 25 and 7. But there came a man of God. Let me start at verse 5. Moreover, Amaziah, this is King Amaziah, gathered Judah together, king of the southern kingdom, and made them captains over thousands and captains over hundreds, according to the houses of their fathers, throughout all Judah and Benjamin. And he numbered them from 20 years old and above, and found them 300,000 choice men able to go forth to war, that could handle spear and shield. So he was getting the army together to fight against Edom. All right. He hired also 100,000 mighty men of valor out of Israel. This is the northern kingdom, for 100 talents of silver. So this is how bad the northern kingdom was when it came to war, because you had King Amaziah, who hired brothers of the northern kingdom, which included Gad, included Naphtali, included Ephraim, Simeon, Asher, so on and so forth. The scripture called them mighty men of valor. Okay, that's 2nd Chronicles 25 and verse 5 and 6. 2nd Chronicles 25 verse 5 and 6. As you read on, it says that Amaziah was told not to join with the northern kingdom, and so he sent the northern kingdom. He sent the warriors back. He sent them back to Samaria, back to Ephraim, back home, and they got pissed. They was like, "Yo, we ready to go to war." Watch this. Drop that First Chronicles chapter 12. First Chronicles chapter 12 and verse 8. First Chronicles chapter 12 verse 8. First Chronicles chapter 12 verse 8. It says, "And of the Gadites there separated themselves unto David into the hold to the wilderness men of might and men of war, fit for the battle, that could handle shield and buckler, whose faces were like the faces of lions, and were swift as the roes upon the mountains. So when it says their faces were like the faces of lions, meaning they had a very hard, stern face. Also today, when you see the war paint, you see the paint that the North American Indians, so-called Native Americans, that war paint that they'll have on their face. They they did that to have that fierce countenance. All right. I'm gonna read on. Yeah. Let's jump over to verse 33. Verse 33. Let's deal with the northern kingdom. Of Zebulun, Panamanians today, such as went forth to war, expert in war, with all instruments of war, 50,000 which could keep rank, meaning they were disciplined, everybody stayed in order. They were not of double heart, meaning they wasn't faint hearted. When it was time to go to war, it was time to go to war. Verse 34, 1,000 captains, and with them with shield and spear, 37,000. All right. I'm going to jump down to verse 36. And of Asher, the tribe of Asher, such as went, that's Colombia to Uruguay. Yeah. Expert in war, 40,000. All right. So the Northern Kingdom was it was not no weak-minded men in the nation of Israel, Northern or Southern Kingdom, as far as when it came to matters of war. All right. Hey, Most High Christ bless, Brother Nashan. Brother Nashan. Shalom, brother. All right. So yeah, Gad was with fierce warriors. They were actually the last um yeah, man, yeah. Use wisdom at the job. I know, dealing with unbelievers and dealing with the heathens, man, it can be hell, but that's the hell we got to go through now to make it into the kingdom, bro. So, just send the prayers up on it. I was gonna say that I forgot what I was gonna say. Um, yeah, I was saying something about the Northern Kingdom. I forgot. I forget. But yeah. So there were no weak men in the Northern Kingdom, and I was gonna say something else. I forgot that fast. Anyway, go to original. You can go to originalroyalty.com, or you can go to israelunite.org/donations, I believe. Um, yes. When you read Genesis 49:19, it says, "Gad, a troop." Let me just read it real quick. The whole nation of Israel is coming back into power. We read 2nd Ezra 6 and 9. 2nd Ezra's in the Apocrypha, but I'm gonna read the tribe of Gad specifically, since that's the tribe you mentioned specifically. Genesis 49:19. Gad, a troop shall overcome him. Oh, that's what I was gonna say. Gad, a troop shall overcome him. That troop was the U.S. cavalry, but he shall overcome at the last. I was mentioning about the tribe of Gad. That's what I was getting ready. That's what I was going to say. The tribe of Gad, with this Thanksgiving, when the so-called white man came over here from the Eastern Hemisphere, from Europe, when the Pilgrims came over here and landed in Plymouth, they had almost 200-year war with the Native Americans. All right, the whole Northern Kingdom that was already over here. The tribe of Gad was the last tribe to go down. They were given Esau, the so-called white man, hell before they got conquered in the late 1800s, 1890, in the Battle of Wounded Knee. They was giving them hell. All right. So the tribe of Gad, just because of what y'all see today, the tribe of Gad is North American Indians. Just because of what y'all see today with the Dakota pipeline and stuff like that, we're the sons of God. We're gods, but we die like men because we broke the commandments of God. So that's what we have to come back to in order to gain our rightful place as um, um, leaders over this world, as judges over the world, rulers over the earth. All right. So anyway, almost, approximately, somewhere around like 200 years. And tribe of Gad was giving them hell most of that time, and they were the last tribe to go down in 1890. All right, Battle of Wounded Knee. You can Google it. All right. Anyway, go to Torah for the Most High. I don't know if they'll have a recording because my laptop shut down. I don't have my cord. I don't have my cell phone. I lost my charger to my cell phone as well. So I have no means of communication. So, Lord's will, once I get everything back up, that means pray for the nation of Israel, because Jerusalem is Israel is a people before it's a place. It's a people before it's a place. With the nation of Israel. All right. I can't remember the scripture off the top of my head. It's in Psalms. Nah, I can't think of it off the top of my head. I couldn't even. Psalms 149. Uh, uh, I can't remember it off the top of my head. There's a scripture that talks about Jerusalem being a people, but I can't remember. I want to say Psalms. All right, but Lord's will I will be on not next week. I'll be out of town for like 2 weeks, so I'll be on like in like 2 weeks. All right, so Lord's will. I'll talk to y'all and see y'all soon. Most High in Christ bless.